to another episode of my Russian holiday. Today we'll be starting in front of the metro or just Tarelka again. Let's go and see what we have for breakfast. And here we have our breakfast. So over here I got my croissant with my, I think it's a chocolate chip, sort of a pastry. Then over here we got some green tea, and then over here we got some, what's it called?
Semolina porridge.
Semolina porridge or oatmeal. Then over here we got some croissant sandwich. And then my mom's having the same chocolate chip pastry.
Siniki.
Okay, so then my dad is having two of these like eggs. I'm not sure, I think like omelets, but anyways over here we got like 12 of pizza bread, as you can see, the cheese, the egg and the vegetables. And then we've got some salad. What kind of salad do you think? This is the egg salad. Okay, so my dad also has a croissant. So that's what we're having. So we're back at the subway station. Let's go to the next destination by train. Welcome to Barkovskaya. It looks like a really modern station. Well, let's go outside. There's even a really nice park outside the station. It's so nice and green. You can hear the birds and a lot of cars because it's still a really big city. And there's the Peter and Paul Fortress, as you can see. You know the Peter and Paul Fortress is where St Petersburg started. So they just built this little fort here and then they expanded out. And then they just built up St. Petersburg from there, and it turned into the nation's capital for a while, but then changed to Moscow. Let's go inside and take a look at where St. Petersburg started. As you can see, the Peter and Paul Fortress is separated from the land with a little moat river thing. And we had to get across this bridge to check out the Peter and Paul Fortress. Let's go. It's also a nice place to sunbathe and have a nice day, because it's next to the water and it's under the sun. Pretty cool. It's like you can use it as a beach or just some place to hang out with your friends. Like all these people here. Here we are at the gate. Very nice. A lot of detail. 1740. That's when it was built. Welcome inside Pete and Paul Fortress. So inside here there's a lot of rabbit statues because you know why? This island was originally named Rabbit Island. I don't think there are no more rabbits though. Anyways, let's go look around. If you didn't know, the exterior and inside the wall is actually in a very special shape. It's sort of a star and triangle shape, as you can see here. This is where we are right now, and this is what the entrance actually looks like. We entered from here, and the entire place is just triangles and stars. And apparently, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's designed by engineer Roman Tomilov. Very cool. Hey, look, it's another stone rabbit, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So all across this big fort is all these rabbits. You can take a look and try and find them, but we're gonna go check out all the must-see attractions here inside the fortress. So here's the entrance to the inner bastion. So this is only like a second wall. We're gonna enter the actual place where they put all the buildings, like all the cathedrals, all the buildings, all the houses and all the prisons and stuff. Anyways, let's go in. That's the Peter and Paul Cathedral, but we're not going to see that first. We're going to go see the collection of porcelain and glass. It's over here. So welcome to the engineer's house, and basically it's a temporary exhibition. And it was constructed in 1748 to 1749 to be used as a drawing office, but later it was occupied by engineering staff to design the entire fortress. Let's go look inside. Welcome to the Peter and Paul Cathedral and the Grand Ducal Burial Chapel. It was built between 1712 and 1733. It is the Petrine Baroque monument designed by Domenico Trezzini. It was the necropolis of the Romanov dynasty, and all Russian rulers, including Peter the Great, were buried here. And it's pretty cool. 3 centuries old, imagine that. Even has an exhibition talking about what life was like here, 3 centuries above the city. this huge fortress is a city of its own. Look, it's a huge square with many benches to enjoy the view of this huge cathedral. For it plays a tune that matches no other churches in the world, I would say. Wow. One of the many different houses inside the square is the Commandant's house. It's a permanent exhibition talking about the history of St. Petersburg. Built in 1743 to 1744, it was designed by a military engineer Christopher Desmarines and reconstructed in the 19th century. So this is also an apartment where people stayed. 28 rooms, and is occupied by a permanent exhibition about history, culture, and the daily life of the capital of the Russian Empire. So this here is the entrance to the cathedral. Let's go look inside. And inside here, as you can see, is the majestic and beautiful cathedral. You know, when you go to a single country, you find one nice church, and it's for the whole country. In Russia, it's one huge grand church for a small town. So as I said before, all the royals actually get buried here. So all the czars and all the kings and all their family also get buried here. They're in the back garden, but there are some inside the church which you can see their coffins. So this is the chapel of Saint Catherine the Martyr, the tomb of Nicholas II, members of his family, and the servants. So inside here is where they're all buried. So this huge chamber, and in the middle of the room, there's this little tomb. Can you explain who this person is? That
the family of Nicholas II were all executed on the same night in 1918, almost 80 years ago. So in 1998, they were all brought and buried here. I saw on the list including the name of the Grand Duchess Anastasia, which in fact, legend says the body was never found, but somehow they included it here.
So right in the front where everybody wants to see is the tomb of Peter the Great. As you can see here, there's actually a lot of medals on the tomb. Let me explain what they're for. They're usually put there on the anniversary or something. So some of them may be the 200th anniversary of Porta Barveto, the 300th anniversary of the St. Petersburg, 300th anniversary medal of Peter the Great, and yeah, there's many medals talking about that. Another one was minted there a few years ago, and they put it here for the 300th anniversary of St. Petersburg. And so this here is the front part of the cathedral. Wow, look at all of that gold. All those beautiful paintings up there. You can see the inside of the dome. The people on this side are the Nicholases, the Elizabeths, and others. There's actually a lot of royal kings and czars here. Too many to list, if I'm honest. Here we have your stained glass picture of Jesus Christ. This is the burial chapel. So that there is Peter the Great's boathouse. And basically, it's where they used to store his little boat in which he learned to sail as a young man. An exact copy of the boat was placed here in 1997. It's now a souvenir shop, a ticket office, and an information desk. So here is the boathouse outside. As you can see, very nice. It kind of mirrors the image of the Admiralty building that we saw yesterday, don't you think? White pillars and very nice yellow paint for the walls. And of course, at the top you can see a nice white statue of a person holding a boat oar. So here's the replica. It was apparently moved from Moscow to St. Petersburg, then moved to Peterhof, then it was moved to the Central Museum of the Navy. And then they just built a new one and put it here. So welcome to the Artillery Square. Basically, there's some artillery here. And every day at noon, they will fire the artillery. It's obviously blanks, but yeah. In the middle, you can see some soldiers. At the top, you can see some more soldiers. They're about to change guard, I suppose. Yeah, the changing guard. Dang! Look how they flip those bayonets. This is interesting. You don't often see guards changing positions. So welcome to the Trubetskoy Western Prison, built between 1870 and 1872, designed by engineers Konstantin and driven Mikhail Papkin. This is the main remand prison in Russia until 1917. During the period of its existence, more than 1,500 political prisoners were kept in 69 solitary confinement cells and 2 punishment cells. So welcome to the reception of the prison. As you can see here, the first 3 things you will see is the map and the layout. They will show you all the prison cells, all the kitchens and the waiting rooms and whatever. And then over here they have a diorama of what the reception room looked like last time. So this here is the prison cells 1 to 35. Here they show the stories of many different prisoners and revolutionists and politic rivals. They pushed them all inside here. And you can see the inside. So inside here they show it all. This is actually a solitary one, which means there's only one person. So the regular furnishing is a normal wooden bed, a frame, and there's a table with a lamp and chair. Other than that, they got some soundproofing walls, so the prisoners couldn't discuss things among each other. Many cells actually show different types of living conditions in the cells during different years. This is during 1850. It's even worse. So a lot of these jail cells are actually closed, but some of them we can enter and see what the living conditions are like. It's actually mostly the same, but you can still walk inside and take a look. You can also read the different sort of information about different prisoners here. So right now we're on the 2nd floor, and on the 2nd floor they talk about the time, like the information about the reign of the Bolshevik Party. At the top, the prisons are the same. They show off the different styles of prison and of course information about prisoners that stayed here. However, among some of the prison cells, there's this little room. It's called the prison library, where there are a limited number of books where prisoners can come during their break time and enjoy the books. And now we're done with the prison. We can continue with the other museums. So welcome to the Commandant's House. Basically, it's an exhibition talking about the history of St. Petersburg. Amazing. Let's go look around. So this is the inside of the courtyard. They actually covered it with this glass roof. But we want to go see the museum. Let's go up there and check it out. The first part of the museum talks about how they raised the Androvsky column, which is the huge column that you saw in the middle of Palace Square. As you can see, this is the same method they used to raise the cathedral of the Ivan Cathedral. Isaac Cathedral, not Ivan. The next room features all the different buildings, owned by whom, blueprints, and all sorts of different things. Let's go look at some. For example, here's the Kazan Cathedral, the one that we all know about. So then over here we can see up here all the deeds and different sort of things that are in the museum. And then if you want to read the information, you can see it here. They also have many different items from different times, like look at these little pocket watches. Or perhaps even old chess pieces and tea cups. Next up, they showed off the construction of the railways, the first and earliest railways in Russia. So they show off all some models of locomotives. There's also some steamships out here that you can look at. So they have some pictures of some early stations, and there's even a little screen here showing off the opening of some stations and some trains. The next is about different banks. As you can see inside here, they can all sorts of like typewriters, abacus, and calculators. They also showed the different deposit boxes that they actually recovered some items from. There are a lot of precious things like diamonds and rings. Cool. So in this section, they showed some public things like posters and some pictures of what it looked just like last time, what they sold in shops. So this one shows different keys, tobacco boxes, and pharmaceutical items, and then there's more medicine. The next one here talks about house designs. As you can see, they got cross sections of many different rooms and apartments. So basically, these rooms showcase many different parts of the household. This one actually shows the bathroom. This one here shows different electrical parts of the house, like doorbells and ammeters and light bulbs. So in the next room, they show off different types of public transportation, like trams, old cars, wagons, and just old cars in general. Welcome back. Hello YouTube, it's me, Mr. Guy. I'm finding my wife now. And apparently this is a room talking about old cinematography back in St Petersburg. You can see filming equipment, different rolls of film, different cameras. It's really interesting. So this is called a stereoscope. It's basically like a sort of an old slideshow in a way. This one shows different count pictures. So you can try and take a look at what's inside. So it's basically you turn the dial and see different pictures. Yes, we are outside again.
This is the Neva Gate.
Yes, we are exiting out of the Neva Gate out to the Neva River. Basically, you can arrive by boat to this place.
Oh, it's a beach.
Yeah, you can actually go sunbathing outside here too. That's cool. So what's inside the Peter and Paul Museum? Let's go see what's inside. The Peter and Paul Fortress Museum talks about the Peter and Paul Fortress. Let's go look at some information. So they show many different maps and different parts of the fortress and how it extended out into St. Petersburg. It was actually sort of a connection from Sweden, Finland and Russia, since it's along the Finnish Gulf. The middle section of the museum has a projector with some sort of a video explaining how they built the wall and the fortress. But if you can't speak Russian and are uninterested in the video, you can look at some of the different information that's on the wall. Next room is about how they constructed the wall. As you can see, there's one explaining brick manufacturing and how they got the stones for the gravel, the pathways, and just buildings, because a lot of the buildings here are made out of stone. Here they got blueprints and maps of the city as seen here. They also show some early pictures that they drew for the city. The next room shows many different designs for different buildings, like the doors, gates, fences, different measuring tools used to build those said doors, gates, fences, and pillars and columns and whatever. So here we have some more designs for buildings. It's a lot actually. This buildings that you see on the street nowadays, you can see all the designs here. And then the next room shows many different pictures of St. Petersburg, the St. Paul Fortress, and some statues. Then over here we got some firework displays. Like as you can see a cross section of like the firework rockets that they once used last time. The next room talks about the many things they found inside the cathedral. You know, the St. Paul Cathedral that we just saw just now. They showed the many different designs and how it looked like last time and all the different priests that once took care of the place. So the last thing we're going to be seeing is the entrance to the panoramic view. Basically, if you pay money, you're allowed to go up there and check out the views of the Neva River. And from there you can even get a close-up view of the artillery fire at noon. But that's past now, so yeah. I'm going to go out and find some lunch because it's around 2 o'clock.